What's up, guys? It's your boy obbldude, and today I wanted to kind of talk about maximizing worth and potentially profits and kind of just trying to cycle as much pet as possible, at least when it comes to mining, just 'cause that's the main thing that I kind of know the most about. So I figured we'll probably just stick it to there because I know there's probably a bunch of things when it comes to like crafting and hunting that I don't even know about, and mining too, probably. Um, but I know a little more about mining than the others. Um, yeah, real quick, we got almost 70 ped in the balance right, in probes right now, and we might not use them all. Might be using closer to 50 for this run. But yeah, we'll just see how it goes. We're back on this land area again too. I wanted to go to another land area because there was another one that I haven't been to before that I wanted to check out. That's interesting. I haven't seen these guys here, I don't think. We'll fly a little bit. Yeah, but there was another land area that I wanted to try today, and I was getting ready to go there. Oh, snap. I was getting ready to go there, and not even 5 minutes of being logged into Entropia, um, I saw that at the land area I was going to, there was a giant hit, like a giant global, maybe a HOF. I'm not really sure what constitutes a global versus a HOF, but it was like a 1300 ped hit on the same land area I was going to go to today. And yeah, I was like, okay. I'm a little nervous to go now because I don't know how much there is left to find. So I'm like, you know what, we'll just head back to this land area for this one, and then in the next one I definitely want to check out that land area. But after a hit like that, I don't know how good of an idea it is trying to drop probes. I mean, theoretically, you would think like it's hot, so you would want to give it a shot, but at least when it comes to Entropia, I've noticed that like after hits like that, it's harder to find stuff, even if you're not the one that got the hit, essentially. So like, so I was a little like kind of not feeling it once I saw that. So we're back here, and yeah, let's just get into it. So maximizing worth, profits, and trying to cycle the most ped you can when it comes to mining. So one of my number one things I always say, and a lot of these things I'm going to talk about today, I've already kind of talked about in other videos too, but I kind of wanted to compile, I guess, everything into one space, essentially, into a topic. But my number one thing is always when it comes to mining to get the most out of it is mining by the water. Now, right now, I'm not mining by the water just because there's really not much water on that side. And with all the mollusks and stuff, I just didn't want to deal with it. So we're kind of just cutting through right now up through here, and then we're going to kind of go along the water here. Sometimes it's kind of tough going by the water. Just because you have like hills and cliffs and things like that. But if you can get some decent flatland and go around water, ideally, is a lot of times your best bet. Now, there's a lot of places that don't really have too much water, and that doesn't mean that they're ne necessarily bad, because you can still get good stuff not around the water. But as far as like consistency goes, I've been most consistent by the water, and I'm not really sure why that is. It might not even be a game thing, it might just be easier to track probes and your drops. I'm not 100% sure why. I accidentally misclicked there. Did not want to drop that one. So yeah, that's one thing that you don't want to do if you want to cycle the most out, unless you get lucky. Um, because that was way too close of a drop to my last probe. Um, but yeah, as far as consistency goes, you can never go wrong mining by water. Like I've never tried mining by water and not at least gotten a couple hits depending on, you know, how long the shoreline was. But that's one of like my top ones, because of consistency. And then you have um, just playing within your level, right? So the best way to really cycle ped is like, because like when you're skilling, it's harder to cycle ped, and it's especially harder when you're training with something new. So as long as your specs are over the spec of the equipment you're going to use, then that's a really good way to get the most out of your ped as well and cycle through the most you can before it's pretty much at zero. So that's another good way. And of course, the more efficient you are too, and the less you're spending, the more you can get back as well, which is decent. Um, so that's not too bad as well. And then what I like to do to really kind of maximize efficiency as well is I'll kind of guesstimate about 70 meters from where I dropped my last probe. So like when I'm running through this, I'm kind of like I'm not even really looking at anything essentially. I'm just kind of going as far as about 70 meters as I think. That way there's no overlap, but I'm not going too far away. And if you can get 3, 4 hits in a row, that's always pretty decent too. And then, between spend and what you get back, and the more often you can hit, kind of like what we're doing right now, this is exactly what you want to see when you're mining because it's so easy to miss a few drops and then keep missing and all that. So between, keeping your costs low, obviously, and just having a basic kind of strategy to try to maximize the amount of claims that you can get versus the probes, that's going to be your best bet. Like ideally in a perfect world, you'd like to see 50 probes dropped and like at least 40 to 42 hits hit in an ideal world, but a lot of times it's not quite that high, but it can be if you can get some decent hits. Because I know I've been on a decent streak where I just kept hitting and hitting, and I like knew like TT value. I was like above where I was at. And then on top of it with mining, just trying to get those skills to use the best miner you can, while still at least having some efficiency with it. Um, I got the F106. I might not be the most efficient on it or have the most efficient equipment to mine, but as far as my skills go and what you can get from this finder, it's pretty decent. So it's just really down to getting those skills to get the decent equipment and then having that basic strategy, focusing on, getting to the water ideally, even if you got a big shoreline you can work with. That's where we're heading right now. And then you can add on to that strategy, which we have touched on this in a couple videos. But then we do another drop here because we have a double drop, go about 70 meters out. A lot of times with these double drops, you almost want to, depending on where you drop the probe, I guess, you almost want to kind of overlap it. Like I probably should have been a little bit closer just to see if I missed anything, but we completely missed that one anyway, so we're good. We'll just pick up these claims and then yeah, it'll be decent. We kind of wasted a drop there, so you got to be careful to try not to waste drops. If you can get some good hits, and usually with double drops, you can afford to waste one just to see and you'll still at least break even. And then that brings me to another concept that I think is super important when it comes to entropia, and that's having what I like to call the entropia mindset, where it's basically a bunch of different factors. Um, but the main factors I want to touch on is that pretty much when you're playing entropia and as you're cycling, eventually you're probably going to get to zero. So at least having that in mind always helps a lot. And then also, anytime you're doing a run or anytime you go out and you try to do something, the closer you can get to break even, the more successful you are, essentially. Because getting over that TT value, yeah, it happens. You can have a really good run. It happens to me quite a bit. But a lot of times that's not going to happen. So you just got to have that backbone of ped and of a balance and resources that you've already gotten and things like that. And then, fully maximizing by just stacking up and trying to cycle through enough initial ped where you can kind of maintain your balance essentially. And that comes with in combination with everything else mentioned so far. But just having the right mindset and being like, all right, I'm just trying to get close to break even. That's like gonna be your best friend when it comes to Entropia, 100%. Wow, I'm surprised that hit. And it was a double. I'm not gonna waste a double on this one. Just because the draw, I've been missing a couple, so I kind of want to not waste too much here. So yeah, as long as you kind of have that basic mindset, like almost like a gambling mindset going in that you know you're gonna lose, but you'll be probably be able to play for a while. That's basically what it comes down to. And then another important way to really maximize your profits when it comes to mining is utilizing the auction house and using it the right way, I guess. I never TT anything unless it's like straight trash, like it just has no markup, no one wants it. Or if I need like a quick sell, like if I have like 500 pet of list and list is going for like 1% and I need it then and now. I hate doing it, but every now and again I'll do it if I really need the ped. Because usually list will go back up to like 3% and then it's more worth selling. So typically you want to sell things on auction at about, in my opinion, 3%. Some people say 1, some say 2. Me personally, for the auction to be worth it to me, in the auction house to be worth it, has to be 3% because of that fee too. So it's like after the fee, I mean, I think you're under almost 2% at that point. So it's like you kind of need that 3% a little bit, but either um, checking the auction, checking the market, and kind of trying to get the most markup you can out of it for and to get the quickest sell too. And then sometimes too, if it's straight trash and you have a lot of it and you need the ped now, TTing isn't such a bad idea. Just because for me, I'd rather take a small loss on markup in order to kind of play again, if that makes sense. Me, I'm just happy if I can play, for me personally. So depending, sometimes I'll TT, a lot of times I don't. I never TT crude. I'll always stack up my crude even if I can't sell it. Just be crude usually sells pretty well anyway. But I'll either keep it just for fuel for myself, but I usually try to sell a good portion of it. But if I can't get it to sell for some reason, which rarely happens to me, I'll just hold on to it. But I'll personally never TT crude just because you can use it for vehicles and different stuff, so it is kind of worth it to have some on the back end, even though you don't need it a whole lot. Which I think that's why the crude market is the way it is, possibly. I just don't think there's enough uses for it. Um, but yeah, and then your higher end stuff, try to stack that up. Um, and that's the next thing too, to really maximize. Before you do a run, before you even decide where you're gonna go, you need to figure out what you're gonna be mining for, because you want to try to be mining for like a decent markup item, and like during the run you're gonna get a whole bunch of other stuff that you weren't intending to get. But as long as you're going there with like an intention of like, okay, I know there's decent stuff here with decent markup, so like we'll come here. That's basically another great way to maximize, because if you can pick up stuff that's like close to 10% and get a decent amount of it, that makes it, you know, that allows you to cycle a whole lot more and use a whole lot more ped to like actually play the game, whether it's mining. And some of this stuff can, I guess, be included with hunting, but again, I'm not a huge hunter. I mainly mine, so don't know a whole lot about that. But yeah, you just want to be going for that markup mainly. Like if I was hunting right now, I think my main thing would be tier 2 components and twin tokens. I think that would be my main my main objectives. And I know exactly what mob I would hunt to do that too. And we might do a hunt. I mean, I haven't done a hunt in a while, and I feel like it would be a nice change of pace. I keep saying it in like every video now, but yeah, these mobs I want to hunt. Trying to remember what they're called, but Yeah, those are pretty fun to hunt though. They're kind of annoying sometimes, but they drop some pretty decent stuff, and if you can get tier twos from them, and they drop some decent twin tokens too. Because I did do a very small sample size, and off like 20 ped, um I got like two twin tokens, I think, from cycling 20 ped, and I was left with like 16 ped. So it wasn't, and actually a little more than 16. It was like 16, I think 38 or something. So like three something in ped I lost on that one, but that wasn't bad at all though. And honestly, with the markup of the tier twos, if I could get more of those, then it could really help with that loss. So even with hunting, I know for a fact the same mindset applies of like know what you're hunting for. Like go for those high markup items, and then what all the little stuff that doesn't really matter are kind of just like bonuses. Um, but yeah, that's one major way to really maximize your worth and what you're getting. Like this is a perfect example right here. One of the things I'm going for in this land area is Derulium. So, I mean, and we just got small of it. So like that's about 3 ped. Yeah, 320. So, that's how you really try to maximize is just go for that higher markup stuff. Try to stack it up. I like to try to stack up the higher markup ped resources, ideally up to 100 if I can, but if I need the money sooner, then it'll be hopefully at least 50 ped. But typically if I have a high markup resource and I have like 7 ped worth of it, it's just not worth putting up on auction, and I definitely don't want to TT that as well, so I'll usually just hold on to that and stack it for a longer period of time. But yeah, that's another really great way to try to maximize ped, maximize worth, your overall net worth and value that you have like in storage, like all of it. That at least when it comes to all of them as well. But mining, almost especially, because there's a lot of stuff. Well, there's a lot of stuff in each profession that really doesn't sell at all. So you kind of got to be particular. You got to kind of know what you're looking for. That's another reason why I don't fully hunt, because it's like I don't know as much as what I'm looking for as I do with mining. So like with mining, I can do kind of a lot more with it than hunting. And that's another thing too. Um, if you really want to maximize yourself, just make sure you're doing stuff that A, you want to do, but B, um, that you can kind of just grind out. Like for me, mining's the easiest thing for me to grind. Like hunting, after like an hour, I'm so burnt out. Like I don't know why. But mining, like yeah, I'll do like a 30 to 45 minute run, but I'm not like burnt from it or whatever, and I'm usually pretty pumped about it because it usually goes somewhat okay. So again, and two, there's been many times where like I'll do a run, come back an hour later, do another run, come back an hour later. So I can easily do that with mining. So it just all depends on kind of what you're doing and what you feel like doing and what you can actually grind out. Because the more you can grind out those skills, buy them skills, whichever, it doesn't even matter. However you get there, as long as it works, as long as you're able to kind of do better, like, because you don't want to be buying skills and then go to do something and like you're still just as bad as you were before then, because that would just be a total waste. Um, but yeah. Ooh, now we're starting to miss here. Yeah, this is usually the side that I struggle with. I'm not sure why. I usually find more of the drops back that way, but I've still found decent drops over here, so I still like to drop over here. Now, unfortunately, I don't think on this side we have a shoreline or much of one, but let's get closer to over here. That way we can try to get the most out of this we can. Okay, cool. We do have a shoreline, so that's good. Yeah, we definitely want to be closer to here. Yeah, we got a small one. Let's see. All right, cool. Wow, that was a huge drop or a huge hit. I don't even know if that was like a resource or if that was a mob. I like saw it last second. 3,000 ped, that's insane. Imagine mining and you just hit 3,000 ped. Like, I can't even. Trying to grind, that's another reason why I want to try to grind out this mining, because, like, I feel like I'm actually getting somewhere with it. So it's like, I want to just try to get better at this point instead of essentially feeling like I'm starting over in a way. Oh man, we're getting rinsed here now. And that's another way to maximize profits too. I think this is a good example and a good way to maybe end it. It all depends. So when you get to a situation like this, you'll have a situation where, especially with mining, where you'll just be missing everything. And for me personally, if I miss like 3 or 4 drops in a row, I'll either like move to a different area a little bit farther away, like a, oof, that's bad. A little bit further away or a good amount further away, and then I'll try mining again. And if I'm still missing, then I'll just call it. Like right now, I'm really close to calling it just because we still have, what is it, 21 drops. And I think from about 24, we started missing. So we're probably at 3 or 4 misses just about. So I want to kind of give it one more shot because if we start hitting up here again, then we'll keep going. But if we're still consistently missing, like if we miss 2 more in a row right now, I think I'm going to call it here. And then we'll be left with 19 drops that we can do at another, on another run and even at another land area. Ideally, specifically the land area I was going to go to today, but then I was like, yeah. So, um, that's another good way to maximize your PED and profits and trying to cycle as much as possible. Is just knowing when to call it, you know? Like not trying to stick out the run and see what happens and like miss half of them because you're gonna get wrecked doing that. Especially kind of like in this situation here where it seems like right now there's not really a whole bunch more to find, at least in this area right here. So we're gonna kind of keep an eye out. We're probably gonna have to call it soon unless we can start hitting again. Like that was a decent hit, but a lot of times you might get a hit like that, and then you'll go like 3 more times in a row with nothing. Um, and since we're almost close to kind of the end of where we kind of like to run through, we'll be close to calling it regardless. But if we're not getting good hits, we might as well save the probes to start another run where we can get better hits. That way we don't have to spend, a whole bunch of ped to get more probes for the next run. So that's another thing you can do. So basically, if you just combine like all that stuff, at least when it comes to mining and maybe some of the other professions, you're going to be able to cycle through a decent amount of ped for a decent amount of time. Or at least it's been somewhat working for me. Here and there, I'll throw 10 or 20 bucks in. A lot of times I do that just to throw a little bit extra into the shares just because I don't know. I'd like to get like a small amount of ped every month from like shares or something just to be able to do some small stuff or, stack up a little bit and see what I can do with it. Oh, wow. There's Argos here now. That's a little different. I don't remember seeing these guys here. That is really interesting. I kind of want to kill him just to see. Like, I mean, I shouldn't, but I kind of want to. Ooh, we might have to just to be able to get this claim. Oh, snap. Okay. Oh, dang. 17. We out. We out. 17. Yeah, we can't take that. 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 Oh, we got wrecked. We got wrecked. Yeah, I don't remember there being Argos here. I honestly don't remember that at all. I'm gonna have to go and get that claim. Yeah, and don't do things like that either. We're gonna go try to get this claim. Yeah, so what you just witnessed there is the exact thing you don't want to happen. Um, to try to get the most out of Ped. I'm actually lucky I had some ammo. I don't even know how much ammo I had. 15 Ped left. I don't know why I keep hitting invisible walls. Yeah, so like, if he was 7, because I saw the level 8, or at least I thought it was a level 8, maybe it was 18. But yeah, after that first shot, I saw he was 17, and I'm like, ah, shit. Yeah, so let's go get our claim. And then I think we're going to call it after that one, just because the hits aren't quite there now, and we ran into some Argos that we cannot take. Even with armor, I mean, the damage we would have been wasting, we would have wasted all that Ped, and then we still wouldn't have killed it. So it's kind of good that we died there just to kind of save us from ourselves. Even though I wasn't going to shoot him again because I knew it wasn't going to happen. I just wanted to get rid of him. I was hoping I could get him to the water at least. Trying to get our claim. Alright, so there's the claim. So we should be able to snag it right quick. I'm hoping. At least if we can just snag it real quick and then get back in the ship, we're good. F4. Boom. Easy. We gotta get out of it. Alright. Yeah, we did not want to lose that one. That was a decent one. That was better than the one before. So, definitely wanted that one. Alright, yeah, I think we might, I don't know, we might drop a couple more. Just try to avoid the Argos maybe. Let's see. Might be able to drop a couple more maybe. Just gotta watch out for the mobs. But I kind of want to just drop a couple more and just see if there's anything else here to find. And if we don't get nothing in like maybe 1 or 2 drops, we'll just call it. Yeah, we might just call it here. It's been seeming like it's been going a little dry, so I kind of want to cut my losses while we can. 17 drops left, so that's not too bad. That means we have, where's, so we still got 26 ped worth of probes. We had technically 69, 70 roughly, like pretty close to 70. We'll just round up a little bit to 70. It's like 30 peck or something. Um, so about 70. So we spent, what is that, 44 ped? Roughly 44 ped spend, I would say. So we spent about 44. That's not too bad. Got pretty close to the 50. And with the resources we have, we are left with 27. Oof. Yeah, that was a big hurt right there. We kind of got hurt today. Um, that's about 17, almost 20 ped loss. So pretty close to a 20 ped loss on that one. One of my not so good runs lately. They're usually a little bit better than that, but I've been coming here quite a bit, and it seems like this land area is changing a little bit. I've always liked this one a little bit better anyway, but this one's been pretty decent too, but it seems like things might be changing a little bit here too. So this might be another one that we might have to kind of maybe stay a little bit away from for now. But yeah, we got at least 2 land areas I really want to check out. So we'll be checking those out in the next video for sure. So drop a like on the video, guys, if you like the video. Subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys in the next video where we go and check out some new land areas. Peace.